Okay. Previous class we studied Thevenin's and Norton's theorem. Now we'll study maximum power transfer theorem. This theorem is extension of Thevenin's and Norton's. If you understand Thevenin's and Norton's theorem, then you will understand this. So let us start from the basics. So maximum power transfer theorem. There are three cases. The basic idea behind this theorem is for what value of load maximum power is transferred. That concept we study in this theorem. So let us look at this source Vs and Rs. This is the source now, and load is having RL, variable load. So what is the current IL will be Vs divided by Rs plus RL. This is the IL current expression. Then power in RL expression is PRL equal to IL square into RL. This is the power. IL replaced with Vs. So this IL replaced with Vs by Rs plus RL square into RL. Now this power to be maximum, its derivative should be 0. Derivative with respect to RL. Because load is variable, for what value of RL, this power is maximum. As for mathematically, maximum or minimum, differentiation should be 0. So we are equating this derivative to 0. But remember, differentiation with respect to RL, and we are differentiating U by V method. That part you know it. By equating 0, you get a answer RL is equal to RS. So RL equal to RS is the condition to obtain maximum power. Condition to obtain maximum power, RL equal to RS. So load resistance to source resistance should be equal, then only you get a maximum power. This is the condition. Under this condition, what is the maximum power P max? This condition, substitute in this formula, in this equation, simplify, you get this formula. So Vs square by 4 into RL. That simplification I am not doing. You substitute, you get this answer. So this formula, this is called condition, important to remember. This maximum formula is also important to remember. Next. In terms of efficiency, how efficiency change with respect to RL. So if you look at here, if RL equal to RS, efficiency is 50%. If RL is equal to RS, efficiency is 50%. Why efficiency is 50% when RL equal to RS? When both are equal, so 50% of power wasted in RS, 50% of power wasted in RL. For example, if the source is giving 200 watts, RS value, RL value equal, na? So 100 watts will be dissipated in RS, 100 watts dissipated in RL. So what is the efficiency? power transferred to RL divided by power supplied. So 100 divided by 100 is the dissipation in RL and the supplied is 200. So what is this value? 50%. So it is efficiency is 50% as long as RL is equal to RS. Efficiency is 100% if RL equal to infinite. RL equal to infinite means open or short. So what is the meaning of RL infinite? Load is open. When load is open, what is power in RL? 0. Power in RL 0. What is power supplied by source? Also 0. So dissipated in RL is 0, supplied is also 0. Then what is the efficiency formula? 0 by 0. 0 is dissipated in the load. 0 is supplied and 100. So 0 1 ja equal to 100%. That's why efficiency is 100% if RL equal to infinite. Don't go by mathematics. 0 by 0 is indeterminate and etc. Whatever power supplied by source is 0. How much transfer to load? 0. So 0, 0 same thing. Therefore efficiency is 100%. If RL equal to 0, efficiency is 0. If RL equal to 0, load is short. Load is shorted. When load is shorted, what is the power in RL? Is 0. So RL is 0. So power transfer to load is 0. And power supplied by source not equal to 0. So 0 by not equal to 0 into 100. So something by not equal to 0. I mean 0 by something not equal to 0. So what is this answer? 0. So that's why efficiency is 0 if RL equal to 0. So same thing plotted here, RL versus efficiency. So RL equal to 0, efficiency 0 is 1 point here. When RL equal to RS, when efficiency is 50%, this is 1 point. When RL equal to infinite, when this RL equal to infinite, then efficiency is 100%. So this line will touch this line at 100% line it will touch when RL equal to infinite. So we'll get this point at infinite. Now join these 3 points. It is increasing exponentially. So this is efficiency versus RL. And also maximum power transferred versus RL. If you look at here, power versus RL. When RL equal to 0, what is the power transferred is 0. When RL equal to RS, maximum power is transferred here. So this point is maximum power. What is that maximum value? Vs square by 4 into RL. This one, this already derived na. Vs square by 4 into RL. When RL is equal to infinite, again power transfer become 0. So this is how power is varying. This is how efficiency is varying. Not only this, these statements are important. Statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, statement 4. So what is the first statement is, this first statement is, for what value of RS, maximum power transfer to RL. See, this theorem is confusing. Carefully you have to understand. So for what value of RS? For what value of RS? Maximum power transfer to load. So when highest value of power is transferred to RL, if RS is equal to 0. So same thing. So here for what value of RS, maximum power transfer to RL, answer is RS equal to 0. Second, for what value of RL, maximum power transfer to RS. For what value of RL, maximum power transfer to RS. What is the answer? RL equal to 0. Obviously, when this RL equal to 0, maximum power transfer to RS. When RS equal to 0, maximum power transfer to RL. These are the first two cases. What is third case? For what value of RL, maximum power transfer to RL. So highest power should come to RL, and we are varying what? RL. That's what RL equal to RS. That is the condition just now we derived. And fourth statement. For what value of RS, maximum power transferred to RS. So in that case, RS equal to RL. RL equal to RS meaning different to RS equal to RL meaning different. So here RL is fixed, RS is changing. If that is equal to this maximum power transfer to RS, here RL equal to RS means RS is fixed, RL is variable. If this is equal to RS, maximum power transfer to RL. So in a short way, how you can remember? If RS equal to 0, maximum power transfer to RL. If RL equal to 0, maximum power transfer to RS. If RL equal to RS, maximum power transfer to RL. If RS equal to RL, maximum power transfer to RS. So these are the four conditions. So these four conditions important. Efficiency, how it is very important. How these plots are obtained is important. And this condition you have to remember. And this P maximum formula also remember, important to remember. And all these things comes under case 1. What is case 1 speciality? It is a DC source. What kind of source? DC source. So DC source Vs, resistance Rs, and load is also DC. DC load. DC load. Now let us go into second case. What is second case? AC source, AC load. Second case is AC source and AC load. AC source and AC load. So AC source will have a frequency and reactance will come. So Rs plus JXS is the source impedance. RL plus JXL is the load impedance ZL, and connected across A and B. Now we want to find for what value of ZL maximum power transfer to ZL. This derivation we have to understand. So what is IL formula? IL is equal to Vs divided by Zs plus ZL. So Rs plus RL plus J, XS plus XL. Magnitude of IL is equal to Vs square by root of real square plus imaginary part square. Then we want to power in RL. So what is power formula? IL square into RL. And IL square become this square, this part square into RL. So here Vs square. So this is again square now. And this root, square of root will go and into RL. Now first differentiate this with respect to XL. ZL is variable means RL is variable, XL also variable. So differentiating with respect to XL and equate it to 0, you will get one condition. XL is equal to minus XS. This condition will come. XL equal to minus XS. Now substitute this condition in above formula and simplify. So after simplification, this equation simplified to this. Under what condition? When XL equal to minus XS. So that you simplify later, you get this form. Now differentiate this with respect to RL, again equated to 0, you get RL equal to RS. So therefore, RL is equal to RS, but XL equal to minus XS. Therefore, what is ZL should be is nothing but RS minus J XS. In place of XL, I write minus XS. So this is nothing but ZS star, complex conjugate of this. Therefore, load should be equal to ZS star. So this is the condition. This is called as a condition. And this condition substitute in above formula and simplify, you get to maximum power. This is same as case 1. This formula same as case 1. Vs square by 4 into RL. This is same as case 1. So condition is different, but maximum power is same. This is case 2. Similarly, case 3. What is case 3 speciality? AC source and DC load. DC load means only RL. This third case, all possibilities we are discussing. Now, this is AC source RL. So again find out IL, Vs by RS plus RL plus JXS. Magnitude of IL is Vs square by and so Vs square. Now this magnitude denominator. Yeah, here also IL magnitude is Vs only. This is a mistake. Denominator only. So this is not there. Here also only. This is not there. Vs by root of this. So power is current square na Vs square. The same way here also. IL equal to Vs by so and so. Power equal to IL square into RL. So Vs square by this into RL. And differentiate this with respect to RL because load is containing only RL equated to 0. Again, U by V method you do it. Equated to 0, blah blah, simplify, you get this condition. This condition is different. So RL equal to root of RS square plus XS square is nothing but mod of ZS. So RL equal to mod of ZS. Mod of ZS. This is the condition. RL equal to mod of ZS. Then what is the PRL? This condition substitute here and simplify. Go through these steps. You get this formula. So this formula again different. Vs square by 2 into Rs plus RL. Vs square by 2 into Rs plus RL. This is maximum power formula. So every case condition is important and P maximum is important. So first case, what is the condition? RL equal to Rs. Second case, what is the condition? ZL equal to ZS star. Third case, what is RL equal to mod of ZS? What is the meaning of mod of ZS? If this is having 3 plus J4, so RL is equal to mod of 3 plus J4. What is this value? Simply 5. Like that, how to do it. And DC source AC load not possible. DC source AC load not possible. No use of it. Why not possible? DC source frequency means 0, na? So if it is AC load like RL plus J XL. What is the value of XL? J as it is omega L. What is omega for DC? This is 0, na? So when frequency is 0, 2 pi f omega also 0. So XL will become 0. Only load will contain RL. So when source is DC, AC load no scope, it will become only RL. That's why fourth case not possible. So maximum power transfer theorem, only 3 cases. And remember, all these 3 cases we are applying on Thevenin equivalent. This VSRS is a Thevenin equivalent. This is a Thevenin equivalent. This is a Thevenin equivalent. On this Thevenin equivalent only we apply the conditions. But how do you obtain the Thevenin equivalent? Already previous class Thevenin's theorem studied, na? Case 1, case 2, case 3. So first to obtain the Thevenin equivalent, depending on the Thevenin equivalent to decide the value of RL or ZL. This is the brief theory part of Thevenin's theorem. Now let us look at problems. So these are the problems. Let me explain. So this is the problem. So in this problem, observe carefully. ZX is connected here. Capacitors are there, inductor is there. For what value of ZX, maximum power transfer to ZX? Also find the maximum power transfer to ZX. This is the question. But where load is connected across AB, but AB point of view, looking from AB, this total portion, I have to replace with the Thevenin equivalent. This one we have to replace, as I told earlier. This maximum power conditions are applied on Thevenin equivalent. So whatever network is there in this box, we have to replace first with the Thevenin equivalent. So Thevenin equivalent means we have to start finding VOC. So ZX is open circuit voltage you have to find. And before we find open circuit voltage, it's a AC source, na? So what is the phasor equivalent of this AC? 2 is the maximum by root 2. So it is the RMS. It is not having any angle 0. So 2 by root 2 angle 0 is the phasor form. Then this one as it is, J ohm. What is J ohm? What is inductive reactance XL? XL equal to J omega L. So J into omega. What is the input signal frequency? 2. What is the inductor value? 1 by 2. So how much you get to J ohm? So that's why this is J ohm. Similarly, capacitive reactance Xc. What is Xc? Minus J by omega C. Minus J by what is omega 2? But capacitor value is 1 by 4. Simplify, you get to minus 2J. So this is minus 2J. This is also minus 2J. Now to find this voltage, we have to find total impedance first. We have to find total impedance looking from the source. So what is the total impedance looking from the source? That I am calling as ZT. What is the ZT value? 1 plus J. This is 1 plus J. They are in series. Then minus 2J minus 2J parallel. Minus 2J minus 2J parallel, equivalent of minus J. So 1 plus J plus 1 minus J. So minus 2J ohms. Capacitors are parallel, but value is given in ohms. Na? So when values are available in ohms, when they are in parallel, simplify similar to resistors when they are in parallel. So what is that equivalent is minus J plus J cancel, you will get 2. Next, to find out the total current to IT. What is the current supplied by source? So that is 2 by root 2 at an angle 0 divided by 2. Total impedance is 2. So 2 cancel. 1 by root 2 angle of 0. That is the total current. With this total current, find out VOC. So how to find VOC? Now VOC is nothing but VAB. Na? So what is the rule? Start at A, go to B. So start at A, go to B. That is resistance 1, current of 1 by root 2 angle 0, then minus 2J capacitive reactance. Minus 2J is the capacitive reactance. So whatever current coming, dividing equally between these two. So half of this will flow, half. 1 by 2 root 2 angle 0. So this 2 will go, and 1 by root 2 is common. Then 1 minus J will come, which is equal to 1 by root 2 into 1 minus J. 1 minus J is what? Root 2 angle of minus 45, which is equal to 1 of angle minus 45. This one is called as RMS. So when we change source into phasor, then this is what phasor form. All these things you have already studied in first year. 2 by root 2 angle 0 is the phasor. So phasor form is always in RMS, and therefore the Thevenin equivalent what we get is, look at here, 1 of angle minus 45. Next, this is the equivalent circuit to obtain, to find Z Thevenin. To find Z Thevenin. What is Z Thevenin? Voltage source is short circuited. So here voltage source is shorted, and impedance looking from AB. So looking from AB again, series parallel. Enter from A, come to B. So 1 plus J, this is series, and these two are parallel. And what is the total net equivalent? So Z Thevenin. So Z Thevenin is equal to 1 plus J. 1 plus J is parallel with, what is this equivalent to? Minus J. This equivalent is minus J. 1 minus J. 1 minus. So 1 plus j, 1 minus j is parallel. Simplify, you get to 1 ohm. That's why Z Thevenin is 1 ohm. Now with this, what we find? V Thevenin we find out, Z Thevenin we find out. But Z Thevenin is having only 1 ohm. So what should be the Zx value? Zx should be equal to 1. Now based on previous conditions. So Z Thevenin means Zs actually. So only 1 ohm means it is like a Rs. When Rs equal to 1 ohm, RL also should be 1. So both are equal, maximum power will be transferred. Now under case 1, what is the formula? P max Vs square by 4 into RL. Vs square. What is Vs RMS? 1. So 1 square by 4 into RL. What is RL value? 1. Simplify, you get the answer. So like this, we can solve. So this network first replace with a Thevenin equivalent, then connect a ZX. What is the question here? For what value of ZX maximum power transfer to ZX? First is the condition. Next is the what is the maximum power. Now this is another question. Look at this. What load impedance should be connected across X and Y so that maximum power transfer to load also find the maximum power. So load is connected between X and Y, and this is one independent source. This is one dependent source, 0.8 VXY. VXY is voltage across X and Y. Right? Now again replace this network with Thevenin equivalent looking from X and Y. But in the process of finding Thevenin equivalent, it comes under Thevenin's second category. Some are independent, some are dependent. So first you have to find the open circuit voltage, second you find the short circuit current. To take the ratio, you get the Z Thevenin. So first open circuit voltage to find. To find open circuit voltage, I can apply nodal. So this current is equal to this current, I can assume. And if this is VXY, it is anyway ground. So V, the voltage here is VXY. So what is this current now? Tan of angle 0 minus Vxy by 2 is equal to Vxy minus 0.8 Vxy by J3. So here solve for Vxy is nothing but V Thevenin. VOC na? VOC is nothing but V Thevenin. So this is V Thevenin. This V Thevenin answer is 10 of 7.6. You get this answer as 10 at an angle of 7.6 degrees. So just solve this equation, you get this. What next is short circuit current? What is shorted? XY shorted, na? When XY shorted, what is VXY? VXY becomes 0. When VXY is 0, 0.8 into 0 is 0. Voltage source 0 means shorted. So 0.8 VXY is equal to 0. Therefore, replace this source with the short circuit. Now solve this one. When this is shorted, current will not go through J3. Current will flow here only. Therefore, ISC equal to, ISC equal to 10 of angle 0 divided by 2. This is nothing but 5 of angle 0. So this is what ISC is nothing but I naught. Then how to find R Thevenin? To find R Thevenin, V Thevenin by I naught. Substitute, you are getting this. So this is what Z Thevenin. This is what Z Thevenin. Once Z Thevenin is 2 of angle 7.6. What is ZL condition? ZS star na. So complex conjugate. What is complex conjugate of 2 of angle 7.6 is this. Magnitude remains same, only angle will change. So this is ZL. Now in this second condition, formula same only na. P max equal to Vs square by 4 into RL. Vs is 10, 4 into RL. What is RL? Resistance part of this. This is in complex form na. This is in complex form. So this we have to change into RL plus JXL. So this real part is nothing but 2 cos 7.6. And simplify, you will get 12.5 watts. In this, indirectly, Thevenin's second category we applied. Thevenin's second category and maximum power transfer also second condition. First problem, first condition is applied. Second problem, second condition is applied. And this is another problem. Look at this. For what value of, it's a transformer, primary, secondary, turns ratio of 1:8. Sorry, 1:A. Load is ZL. For what value of A is a constant, maximum power transfer to Z2. So when transformer secondary is loaded with ZL, what is the primary equivalent to ZL by A square? So transformer related formulas you should know. Transformer related formulas. What is the transformer related formulas? V2 by V1 is equal to I1 by I2 is equal to N2 by N1 is equal to N. Then if secondary terminated with ZL, primary impedance is ZL by N square. If primary loaded with ZL, then looking from secondary, then in that case you get ZL into N square. These are the transformer related formulas. So in this case, it is terminated with ZL. So primary equivalent is ZL by N square, but here N is what? Here N is equal to N2 by N1. So A by 1 is equal to A. N square is nothing but A square. So that is what this. And when you get a maximum power, to get the maximum power, this must be complex conjugate of this. So basically ZL by N square should be complex conjugate of Z1. Z1 complex conjugate. So as per maximum power transfer, second condition. So with the help of that, it is complex conjugate. Na? If it is a complex conjugate, magnitudes are equal. Example, 3 plus J4. What is the complex conjugate of this? 3 minus J4. Na? What is magnitude of this? 5. What is the magnitude of this? Is also. So magnitudes are equal. So therefore here you look at magnitudes are equated. So mod of Z1 is equal to mod of Z2 by A square. Z2 by A square. Solve for A, you get this. So this is simple objective question. Here, this is the source. It is already in Thevenin equivalent form. So RL. Find the maximum power transfer to RL. Find the maximum power transfer to RL. What is XL? JXL is J into omega is 10 and L value is 1 Henry. So J10. So what is this value? 10 plus J10. But RL here it is not ZL, here it is RL. So what is RL formula? Magnitude of ZS. 10 plus J10, you get this. Is the condition. Then what is P max formula? Vs square by 2 into Rs plus RL. This is a third case, different. So Vs substitute, Rs, RL substitute, simplify. You will get. So this is a third case application. This is another problem, and all the in detail I solved. You later go through it. Here RL is variable and 0.5 I1. So depending on this, maximum power is delivered to RL if its value is. Indirectly, for what value of RL, maximum power is transferred. So it comes under Thevenin's second category. This is independent source, this is dependent source. So first to obtain the Thevenin equivalent, V Thevenin is 10, then I Norton is 2.5 by 4, R Thevenin is V Thevenin by I Norton, 16 volts. So when R Thevenin is 16, RL also should be 16. So just to go through the all mesh and equations, etc., to find the Thevenin. It's not a new concept, just for a practice, another problem given. So that's all. These are the different problems. These are the important. Any problem as per these conditions, you just solve it. Next theorem is superposition theorem. Superposition theorem. Superposition theorem. Superposition theorem. This is the fourth important theorem, SPT, superposition theorem. Earlier I used word superposition principle. Principle is what? One by one we take it, find the response. Theorem also same thing. Only officially we are using word theorem. Principle if you know, theorem automatically you know. So what is the definition? Any active network with more than one independent source. More than one independent source contain linear and bilateral elements. It should contain linear elements. Superposition theorem is applicable to linear and bilateral elements. The final response equal to addition of individual responses. Final response equal to addition of individual responses. So again, there are two categories. All sources are independent. Then f of x1 plus x2 plus x3 equal to f of x1 plus f of x2 plus f of x3. x1, x2, x3 are the sources. F of x1 is the response because of x1 and so on. So when all sources are there, whatever output you get is same as addition of individual responses. That is the meaning of first. Second case is some are independent, some are dependent. So x1, x2, x3 out of these three, x1, x3 independent sources, x2 dependent. Because of this dependency, don't apply superposition theorem to dependent source. So what you have to do, f of x1 plus x2 is one set plus f of x2 plus x3. So what is that you are observing? In this case, x2 present, in this case also x2 present. And this response comes under two source problem. This response also two source problem. And find individually and add them, you get the final output. Only these two cases, all sources are independent, some dependent, some independent. All dependent to no use. If all are dependent passive network, anyway, we don't get any response. Therefore, only these two categories are possible. These notes are important. Don't apply superposition theorem to dependent sources. We apply only to independent. Note 2. Don't apply superposition theorem if all sources are AC in any category because of more time. Don't apply superposition theorem if all sources are AC. If all sources are AC, x1, x2, x3 are AC sources, finding f of x1, this will take 5 minutes. This will take 5 minutes. This will take 5 minutes. Addition will take five minutes because AC sources we are adding now. DC sources means only real numbers we add easily, but AC sources again you have to use phasor form, etc. Then only you get this answer. So don't apply superposition theorem. You can apply, but unnecessarily it takes a lot of time. Avoid usage of superposition theorem if sources are AC. But generally in the BTech point of view, sometimes they give all sources AC. They ask you to find a response using superposition. In that case, no option. You have to use it. Then third one, if all sources are DC, in second category, don't apply superposition theorem due to more time. Second category, if all are DC sources, don't apply. Why? Second category, what is the specialty? Combination of dependent and independent. Na? So this comes under two source problem. This comes under two source problem. Here you have to solve by nodal or mesh analysis. Here also you have to solve by nodal or mesh analysis. This will take 5 minutes. This will take 5 minutes. Addition will take 5 minutes. Instead of that, x1, x2, x3, all three keep it. Find straight away it takes only 5 minutes. That's why if all sources are DC in second category, don't apply superposition theorem due to more time. Fourth, if all sources are DC in category 1, most of the time we don't apply superposition theorem due to more time. Hence, this theorem is very less useful. So, GATE point of view, IAS point of view, any competitive examination point of view, this theorem is not much useful. But BTech point of view, they will ask these problems. So, category 1, category 2, accordingly you follow. In that case, BTech, you don't have an option, don't apply, don't apply. GATE point of view, they give a problem, they ask to find the answer. There, avoid this theorem. But in this BTech level, they mention use superposition theorem. So compulsorily you have to apply superposition theorem and find out. This is the theory part of superposition theorem. Now let us see problems in case 1, case 2. So we will start with this problem. So this is one bigger one, and 15 ampere current source, 30 volts voltage source, 45 amps current source, 180 volts. Question is find I. So purposefully I selected this bigger one. How many sources are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 sources are there. Find I using superposition theorem. So what is this comes under category 1 or 2? It is clearly category 1. All sources are independent. All are DC sources. So you can use superposition theorem in category 1. So what is the procedure? Take source one by one. First 15 ampere current source, keep it. All remaining sources short circuit. Voltage source of course is short. current source open. So this diagonal is current na, so this path is open. Then at 2 ohm voltage source 0, here it is shorted. Voltage source, remember, short, current source open. This 180 volts also short. Now this is the equivalent. Now in this equivalent, looking at this circuit, find the value of I1. Find the value of I1. So it is a simply single source problem na. So single source problem, first find out, look at this one, 15 ampere is entering, that is dividing between 4 ohms and this total equivalent. 24, 12 parallel na. 24, 12 parallel is how much? 24 into 12 by addition is 36. So you get 8. So this is 8. 8 plus 2, 10. 10 and 6. 16. So 16 parallel with 4. So what is Ix first? Ix equal to, incoming is 15 amps into opposite resistance 4 by 4 plus 4 plus. So this equivalent is 8 to 8 plus 2, 10, 10 plus 6 is 6. 16 plus 4 is 20. And 4 1 ja 4 5, 5 1 ja 5. So what is this current? Ix is 3 amps. So Ix is 3 amps. So this current further dividing between 24 and 12. So therefore from this I1 is equal to 3 incoming current, 3 amps. 3 amps into 24 by 36. You get to 2 amps. So I1 is 2 amps. Like that, second case I have taken 30 volts. 30 volts, remaining source is 0. Now this is the equivalent. So in this equivalent, again find the total current IT, that is dividing between. So this is a simple single source problem. 24, 12. What is this equivalent to? 8 na? And 2 plus 4, 6. 6 plus 6, 12. 12 and 8, 20. So what is IT? IT is 30 divided by 20. You will get 1.5 amps. IT, this current. Now this current dividing between 24 and 12. So then you get I2 equal to 1.5 into 24 divided by 36. I'm using current division, you will get to 1 amp. Is it 1 ampere? So it is 1 amp. So I2 is 1 amp. Like that, here with 45, find I3. Then here find out I4. Just you can do it yourself. So answers I have given 2 plus 1 minus 9 minus 3. So add it, you get to minus 9. So minus 9 is the answer. So it is little big because of 4 sources.